This is the dawn of a new era in British karting. Over 550 drivers in 12 classes competing for victory over 18 race weekends. This is the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships. It's a brand new venue for the British Kart Championship as Mansell Raceway in Dunkswell brings Rotax to the Devon countryside. Rotax 177 will see another intense contest as Dan Holland Racing's new man, Jamie Desira, is making massive strides towards the front of the field and could be challenging for the win today.
Since I was little, we always raced with sort of on our own, and then to race with a big team is really good. You sort of see where you benefit and stuff. When it's the race, you just need to make sure you get to the front as quick as possible. Because when it gets grippy and a heat comes and you're following, it's just not the best thing. But just finishing the top 10 really would be good. After missing a round, it'd be really good if I can still get a number this year. I think I probably have one of the best teammates on the grid. He's also like the same height as me, and we know when we're both all right because we're both sort of at the front together. So I'm just here to have a bit of fun, and having Cheeky with me as well is really good. And with him leading the championship, I don't think I've got a bad teammate in. So just enjoying it. If I can beat him, then it's all good.
The drivers are in their two rows as they head up to the final chicane to get the race started. Chris Thomas, Nathan Chafer, Cole Edwards, Jamie Desira, Alex Luck and Chris White in the top six. From Michael Cheek, James Beecroft, James Moorcroft and Louis Large, they come out of the final corner and up the two tram lines, and we are about to go racing for the last time in Rotax 177 this weekend. Go! Brilliant run to the first corner from Chris Thomas. Alex Luck is going to get into second place. Good charge up the inside line. Michael Cheek goes wheel to wheel with Nathan Chafer, and Jamie Desira is there in fifth position trying to get his way through as Chris Wright defends to the inside of Beecroft. Louis Large is to his left and he goes through on the inside, takes the place. So that's Louis Large, the reigning British champion, up to seventh place, and there's contact further back. That is Beecroft, I think, going onto the grass and dropping all the way down the order. My goodness, that is a very big problem for him. And there's an off on the first hairpin. Now I'm not sure who that is. I think that might be Cole Edwards. He was out of the race already. So Cole Edwards with a mechanical problem. Cole Edwards is out. A big disaster for Cole Edwards as the race continues out front. So the number two of Chris Thomas leads the way from Nathan Chafer. Then it is a big roam from Chafer as he gets on the inside of Alex Luck. So Luck was in second place. Chafer has got him back again. And it looks like a retirement for the 42 of Taylor Adams. He and Cole Edwards go no further after the first lap of racing. Cole Edwards, though, out on the formation lap. As up the inside, that's a bold lunge for fourth position. That's one of the Dan Holland Racing karts. I'm fairly sure that's Jamie Desira, who's got through into fourth position in behind Michael Cheek, who has stormed his way now through to third place. So out onto the back straight. A very good charge up the long crest to the chicane. But it's Chris Thomas who leads for Nathan Chafer, then Cheek, then Desira. So they come across the line. Chris Wright is now in fifth position in front of Louis Large and Alex Luck, who is sadly down to seventh position after all of that jostling for position. Then it's James Beecroft from Colin Davis. Here goes Luck up the inside of Louis Large and makes the place into the hairpin. Lovely job there from Alex Luck as he gets through, and that puts him up into P6. So some great racing as they come through into the second sector now, and it's already been a very hectic day at the office for the drivers in Rotax 177. They will continue their charge in this race, but you're going to see some truly exciting battles all the way through from the front. Very long final, of course, 15 minutes plus the additional lap, and here they come into the chicane. So far so good for Chris Thomas. He leads Nathan Chafer across the line. Then it is Cheek from Desira, the two Dan Holland Racing twins. Then in 8 it is Chris Wright in fifth position. Alex Luck is in the 5 in P6. Then Louis Large, then James Beecroft, and then it is the 70. That is Colin Davis. So the man who tumbled all the way down the order, that must have been Joe Fifner who had his incident on the grass earlier on. I called it slightly wrong, unfortunately. I said it was Beecroft who went off on the first lap. It was actually Joe Fifner who's had a very difficult weekend anyway on the Paralympic, never really been in contention. A real shame for Joe. But the battle continues as the racing gets underway at the front end of the field. They come down the straight up towards the final chicane, and it's all good for Chris Thomas. Nathan Chafer still running one in second place. Then it is Cheek and Desira. Fifth place, Chris Wright getting close. Alex Luck coming with him. Louis Large, Beecroft, and then it is the 70 next up. And that is, of course, Colin Davis from Charlie Whaley, James Moorcroft, Branfield, Oliver and Churchill. And that's Desira up the inside of Michael Cheek. He gets through into third place. So a good overtake there from Jamie Desira, and he is now in P3. Some great battles all the way through this field. As up the inside, that's Chris Wright. He now gets into fourth position, and that's Alex Luck getting through as well. So Michael Cheek suddenly tumbles down into, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sixth position for Michael Cheek, and he was in third at the start of the lap. But great progress again from Jamie Desira, who's had an amazing weekend here and is really starting to chock on to the front end of the field. Great to see how he has developed this weekend and this season, of course. So Jamie Desira in third position in front of the 8th of Chris Wright, and Alex Luck is trying to get himself back into contention as they get into the braking zone for the second hairpin, and through the right-hander and onto the airfield straight, charging up to the hairpin that begins the second sector of the lap. A great little jostle for fourth position as still Alex Luck holds it in front of Chris Wright and Michael Cheek. Then last year's champion Louis Large in front of James Beecroft. The 70 is next of Colin Davis, then Moorcroft and Whaley. But the leader is being hassled by Nathan Chafer now. Chris Thomas is being caught by Chafer. He's got well clear of the drivers behind and is starting to step up the attack. So Nathan Chafer, going very well on the CRG chassis, is doing a brilliant job here in second place as he charges after the number 2 of Thomas, and they continue to battle for position through the hairpin and up into the right hairpin onto the airfield straight as a very disgruntled Cole Edwards walks away wondering what could have been. He could easily have taken the victory in this one, but a very disappointing end to his weekend. Now out in front though, it is still the number 2 of Chris Thomas. He leads the way comfortably. Second place is Nathan Chafer, and he is starting to edge closer and closer to the lead of the race, and that's where things are going to get very hectic indeed. Into the chicane that completes the lap and down the main straight again. This is going to go very well indeed for the number 2. If he can continue to hold this lead, Chris Thomas is looking to get another victory, and that will move him closer to the top 6 in the Drivers' Championship. So Chris Thomas is having a great fight back after 2 difficult weekends to start the year. He has now got himself right back into contention. And after what was a very tricky start to the season at PF International and then at Rowra, Chris Thomas is now getting himself back into contention again here at Mansell Raceway. So really good battle in the early stages of this final. Some good overtakes in the midfield as well. Lots of changes of position. But so far, it is Chris Thomas from pole position who has held on to his place. Nathan Chafer, having originally lost out, is now back into that second place spot, and he is gunning for the victory. Jamie Desira in third, Alex Luck in fourth place from Chris Wright, and in sixth place it's Michael Cheek, the championship leader. But this is an important one for Beecroft. If he can start to make progress and get past first Louis Large, last year's champion, and then Michael Cheek, the championship leader, he's got a chance to make more points. As Carl Churchill comes into the pit lane, he is going to retire, I'm afraid. So it's game over for Carl Churchill. That's a real shame. Meanwhile, out in front, it is all guns blazing for our race leader, Chris Thomas, as he tries desperately to pull out a gap over Nathan Chafer. And it is not easy at this stage of the race to predict who is going to be our race winner, because Nathan Chafer still giving plenty of hurry up to Chris Thomas in the lead of the race. And Jamie Desira has got very good strategy in this part of the race. He's just keeping it nice and smooth, not working the car too hard. He's keeping it really tidy, and that is going to give him plenty to play with over the course of the rest of the race. We are now at the half distance mark as they come through into the second sector on lap number 10. It is halfway through now, 7:30 done, 7:30 to go. And so they come through the flying left-hander, flat on the throttle, then you dab the brake, get a hard run through the hairpin, and Nathan Chafer's definitely making good use of this second half of the race already as he starts to reel in the race leader, Chris Thomas. He's just pacing himself. He doesn't want to push too hard, too soon. Down the straight, into the first corner. And Chris Thomas running well here in front of Nathan Chafer. Jamie Desira is a little further back, but he still holds third in front of Luck, Wright and Cheek. Then Louis Large. Then it is Beecroft in front of Moorcroft, the O-plate, trying to make his way past Colin Davis. And another retirement, and it's Joe Fiffner once again. The Paralymp has let him down on this particular occasion. So Joe Fiffner, unfortunately, 2 DNFs from the 2 finals. All sorts of mechanical problems for Joe. So up towards the hairpin comes the race leader, Chris Thomas, still hanging it on in front of Nathan Chafer. Third position, a very big push now from Jamie Desira as he tries to get in behind the 2 of them, and he wants to drop Alex Luck and Chris Wright, who are battling over 4th position in front of Michael Cheek, the championship leader. They go into lap number 11, and Chris Thomas is running a brilliant race out in front of Nathan Chafer. But Chafer wants to get a really good run. Sorry, we're on lap 12 now, I should say, not 11. As the drivers continue to come through on the back straight through the airfield section of the course and into Hanger, the right-hander, as they make their way through. And that's a very tough battle now because Nathan Chafer's caught right up to the back of Chris Thomas, and Thomas is hanging on in there through the flat-out left-hander, keeping it so nicely balanced. And on the straight up towards the chicane, this is going to be an absolute thriller of a race with these 2 battling away for position. They continue to charge their way forwards, and now they will climb into the next section. Along they go again towards the hairpin. Heavy on the brakes. Chafer definitely giving Chris Thomas a big push in through turn 4. And along the airfield straight, up towards the second sector of the lap again. Thomas and Chafer, nose to tail, then Desira, Luck, Wright, Cheek, Large, Beecroft, Moorcroft, Davis, Branfield and Whaley in front of Matteo Zanetti, the Italian. They go through, up towards the hairpin once again, and you just get the sense that Nathan Chafer is just counting down laps here. He's not really focused on the guys behind. He just wants to give Chris Thomas a bit of a push, but he's got a much better line through the chicane. Surely now Nathan Chafer's going to get his best chance yet of passing Chris Thomas. Thomas defends to the inside. Chafer's going to try and get the switchback, but he's not going to get there. Thomas holds the line beautifully, and again to the inside line. Thomas is defending valiantly as now there's a chance for Nathan Chafer around the outside of the hairpin. He now comes down the airfield straight into the second sector, and Thomas is holding that inside line, defending with 4.5 minutes to go. He surely can't keep this up for nearly 5 minutes of racing, but that is exactly what he's attempting to do. Nathan Chafer is desperately seeking a way to get past on Chris Thomas in the hope that he's going to get there. So into the chicane, and so far so good for Nathan Chafer. He's definitely pushing Thomas to the within an inch of his apex. But watch out, because Jamie Desira is right in behind now. He's gained a lot of ground. So Nathan Chafer is going to push Chris Thomas to the limit here, into the hairpin. Back on the power, and he's going to dive for the inside. Thomas is going to try and shut him down, but Chafer's there, and here comes Desira. Desira's going to get past the boat. Jamie Desira hits the front, Thomas backs down, and into second place now comes Alex Luck. Oh my word, Chafer makes the move on Thomas. Thomas down to 5th, Chafer down to 3rd, Luck in a 2nd, and your new leader is Jamie Desira. Absolutely amazing, and now the race has really opened up. This is a proper squabble now as Jamie Desira gets into the lead of the race, and now there's a proper battle on our hands. Luck is now 2nd, then it is Chafer. Thomas is trying to hang on in front of Michael Cheek now, but the entire battle for the victory has completely changed. Oh, and a problem for Chafer. It looked to me as though he nudged the back of Alex Luck. Now he's got to be careful there because he might have a front fairing penalty, but I think he's missed his braking by a good 1.5 meters or so. And the 99 and Nathan Chafer getting very feisty in his bid to get back onto the lead. And there was a big nudge there on the back of the number 5 of Alex Luck to take the position. Now, whether he missed his braking point or whether he just got a little bit overawed and decided to go full guns blazing, I'm not sure. But there was definite nudging from Chafer on the back of Luck. So now Nathan Schaefer goes into the first hairpin, chasing down Jamie Desira. Jamie Desira now in the lead of the race from Nathan Schaefer with Luck, and then Chris Wright in fourth position in front of Chris Thomas and Michael Cheek. There's a great battle for seventh place developing now as well, as Louis Large has got to the front of the train, but it's Beecroft, Moorcroft, Davis, Branfield, Zanetti and Charlie Whaley, as well as Luke Oliver at the back of the train. So we've got two great squabbles, one for first between 6 drivers and one for seventh between 8 of them. So down the straight up towards the final chicane, Jamie Desira's got Nathan Schaefer right in behind him. So let's see what will happen. We're going to have a look and see if Jamie Desira can hang on in front of Nathan Schaefer. Schaefer runs in second place on the CRG chassis. Jamie Desira will want to keep a handle on this on the inside of the hairpin. He defends well, keeps the cart nicely placed on the exit of the third hairpin. And now down the airfield straight, Desira holds it, but Schaefer's not going to go. Desira dives on the inside. Schaefer dived for it. There was a little bit of wheel rubbing, and Alex Luck gets the vote. Alex Luck gets into the lead of the race, and there's a spin further back in the battle for 7th position. One of them's gone. Now I can't see who it is that's not come through, but there's definitely a problem there. So one of them's not come through on the second sector. That is, I can't tell, but we've lost 2 of them from the fray. Michael Cheek is now going to make the move on Chris Thomas. Alex Luck is through to the lead. Jamie Desira now second in front of Wright and Schaefer. Then Chris Thomas in front of Michael Cheek. But we've lost 2 of them down at the back. It's Colin Davis and Charlie Whaley. So Charlie Whaley's got going again, but Colin Davis is out of it, I'm afraid. So a real problem, as now we're into the final half minute of racing, and Alex Luck has suddenly got himself into a race-winning position here with Jamie Desira and Chris Wright very close in behind, and that unfortunately is game over for the number 10 of Charlie Whaley. The Schumacher chassis comes into the pits and it's game over. What a shame. But the race continues into the penultimate lap for our race leader, Alex Luck. He crossed the line with 1 second to go. That couldn't be any tighter. So there are 2 laps to go, not 1. And that could make things even. Oh, Desira advance on the inside of Luck, and they come together. Desira and Luck collide, and that has allowed Chris Wright to go through to the lead. Desira and Luck continue, but it's all gone wrong for them both. And I think Desira was just a little bit too eager to get through on the inside of Alex Luck. He charged a little bit too aggressively over the curve, bounced back into Luck, and they came together. What a shame. Both of them now gone from the race battle of the victory. So now it's Chris Wright trying to hang on in front of Nathan Schaefer. Thomas is third and Michael Cheek is fourth. Everybody's absolutely determined to get the race victory here under the watchful eyes of Hugh Chambers, David Richards and Nigel Mansell, who are all watching from the sidelines as Schaefer now tries again for the lead of the race. He's doing everything he can to get through on Chris Wright. Chris Wright holds the inside line into the second sector. Schaefer's going to try and cut back around the outside of the hairpin. He now is going for the undercut, and he's not going to get there. Cheek is going to go side by side with Thomas for third, and he can't make the move stick either. Into the hairpin and down the long straight. This is now going to be now or never for Chris Wright and Nathan Schaefer. They will battle. Cheek squabbles with Thomas out of the final chicane. Chris Wright is going to take the victory. What a battle and an amazing race for Chris Wright. A truly sensational finish as Chris Wright shakes hands with Nathan Schaefer. And Chris Wright has done an amazing job. Kept his head, kept his cool, and he has put himself into first position on a very competitive podium indeed. Nathan Schaefer is second on the road. Hopefully he will remain there after the race as well, but Chris Wright's victory now brings him up to fourth in the Drivers' Championship. It's a big victory today at Mansell Raceway for Chris Wright. Schaefer is second from Chris Thomas. Michael Cheek is fourth in front of Louis Large and James Beecroft. James Moorcroft is seventh in front of Matteo Zanetta. Desira recovers to ninth. Branfield is 10th. Luke Oliver is 11th, and a very frustrated and probably very angry Alexander Luck is in 12th place in front of Sam Winter and Adam Sadler, Dan Milner and Aaron Yao, and then Tim Darlow. The retirements are Colin Davis, Charlie Whaley, Joe Biffner, Carl Churchill, Cole Edwards gutted on the first lap, and Taylor Adams. But Chris Wright is a very worthy and brilliantly deserved race winner in the final here at Mansell Raceway in Rotax 177. So Chris Wright bags a brilliant victory, whilst Nathan Schaefer would sadly lose his second place after a front-fairing penalty. So completing the podium will be Chris Thomas and Michael Cheek, whose championship lead is definitely going to be tough to hang on to in the second half of the year.
At the start wasn't too bad. Spent most of the race in fifth. That was a bit boring, and then it all started kicking off at the end. I knew I was going to have to get stuck in, otherwise get hung out to dry, and I just ended up in the right position really and defended it for the last 2 laps. I thought Schaefer might come in hard, but I managed to keep him back, and that was it really.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously had a great weekend. Big thanks to GMS for sorting out the car, and obviously the power for the weekend. Regarding the second race, got a decent start, and I think it was Michael and Nathan were close behind for the majority, but I was managing to hold them off. Nathan, quite rightly, had a nose cone penalty, so he got dropped down, but so gave me second. So I was obviously very pleased with that, with first earlier in the day.
Very tough weekend. The conditions very hard, very grippy track, and for us bigger drivers, I say, we do struggle. But got off a good start, picked them off one by one to start with. I think we got up to third at one point, really good. Ended up on the podium. So yeah, overall good points for the championship, and bring on GYG. I just want to say massive thanks to my dad for mechanicking me, Dan on and Racing, and my sponsors Shred On Site.